Welcome to your reading. To your I don't even know. Like what are we doing here? Let's find out. Let's find out together. There's a card. Wake up, Dragonling. You are one with me, God says. Wake up, Dragonling. You are one with me. You are one with everything. There's nothing outside of you. There's nothing even. How do I say this? You could say there's nothing even within you. You are everything. And like I'm feeling the heart of the cards right now. Order no turn! Heck yeah. Like go forth. Go forth and bring joy. However you want to. However you want to. Christ says. However you want to. But know that wake up. You're with me, God says. And I could go on forever about that. I could go on forever about you being one with the Spirit. You having both a red and blue version of you. Again, red like blood. I'm hearing like bleeding. It's like you have a side of you that like loves to bleed even. Like it's that kind of crazy. And there's a side of you that is like about everything to like get things done. But when that little red starts coming, it's like it can't help but smile when it has that red to fight. So how am I saying this? Yeah, like God's very happy about that. God's very happy about that. So what I'm hearing is really like you have a side that like loves to bleed even, like loves to fight, loves to like your fighting spirit. Yeah, big bird just flew over. Your fighting spirit, right? And you have a side that is your cool side. Think of like fire and ice. Think of like Todoroki from My Hero Academia. It is like full fire and ice, and you meet in the middle as purple, right? As your red and blue self. Think of Gojo, literally like twisting mana, red and blue mana into hollow purple. And it's like again, it's hollow. It's a void. Purple is like the vessel, right? When you are purple, you are the vessel of God, and God says, "Wake up, Dragonling. I am one with you. I have you by the face. I have you, like, I can hold you if I want. Wake up, Dragonling." That's what God is saying. That's what God is saying. So, who are you to fear anything? Why would you? Like, how many times do we need to repeat this? Wake up, Dragonling. You are one with me. I have you. Never fear. Never fear anything. There may be things you think you need to fear. Good. Fear them if you want. Fear them if you need to. Do you need to? No. That's what God would say. No. There is nothing to fear. And why? Because when you are purple, right? So it really feels like God wants me to get back to that purple part, you could say. Red and blue. One that loves to fight, loves to bleed even. One that is so cool. It's as cool as ice, just ice cold. Ice cold, right? Like that, both of those versions of you meet those together, you are truly purple. And just as Gojo was basically teaching us, it's hollow purple. Purple is hollow. You don't merge as this like vibrant color purple. No, you are like the vessel. Think of Jinwoo, right? Think of the vessel. Yes, like awesome. Awesome. Think of how do I say this? You even being like red at one point, then going all the way up to blue, where you are like right before purple. And then what did blue need to do? It needs to go back and have its fighting spirit be awakened again, and not just try to be cool as ice, right? And when again you understand those, you become purple. And the purple is hollow. You are the vessel. Like you are the void even. And don't be afraid of that word. And don't be afraid of this world, right? The world can be considered a void. It is what you do to fill it. It is what you, like you could say, you are the light of it. As Christ told you, this world is like a void, it's like shadow, and you are illuminating how this world is, right? How this world is supposed to be. And the more you have a good perception of things, the more you have like good eyes, you would be considered a vessel of God more and more. And again, there will be people that will not be ready to hear this because they won't be able to believe in themselves being able to be that hollow purple vessel of God. Some people like are not ready for that. Why? Because they have not been able to master the fighting spirit side and the ice cold cool side, right? But when you have both, when you are like, just like Jotaro, right? You have so much fighting spirit, but you don't let it out unless like something is like actually, how do I say this? You don't, like, you are in control of that fighting spirit, right? And that's why Jotaro is purple. That's why his stand is purple. God's like telling us right there. And again, like, I'm thinking of some people here, they are not ready to hear this. People are not ready to hear this. And it's okay. Like, if you are hearing this now and it's not like you're not ready for it to compute. Like, you're not ready to install this, you could say. It's okay. Move on. Move on. But like, you'll have this, you'll hear this again one day when you are like fully awakened, when you are fully ready to, again, merge your fighting spirit with your cool side. The one that wants to be cool, the one that wants to like bleed even if it has to. If it like it almost wants to, right? Like that kind of fighting spirit. It's like, I love bleeding. And it's like, something would be like, what? Like, someone that doesn't understand, they'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, you love to bleed? It's like, you'll get it one day. You'll get it one day. It's fighting spirit. And love can change the universe. Bird flew over right as I said that. Gurren Lagann. It's all fighting spirit. And love can change the universe. If you are thinking about sin, you are sinning. That's what God wants to say the most. If you are thinking about sin, you are sinning. Isn't that the biggest paradox ever? And there will be theologians. There will be, you could say, how would I say this? There could be anyone. Esoterics. Who else? Who am I thinking of? What's the Stoics, for sure. The Stoics, most definitely, right? And again, the worst thing, like the worst enemy to being one with God is being a Stoic theologian. Isn't that hard to hear? Like a Stoic, like, how do I say this? Like, just like an intelligence ego, you could say, that just wants to be intelligent and even just sound intelligent. Even just, how do I say this? Like, want to, like, the more knowledge you have, sometimes it isn't the best way to go. It's all turning that knowledge into wisdom, right? And if someone has a set thing of what you could say anything should be in terms of good and evil, they're doing it wrong. They're doing it wrong, right? So you are you. You are one with your red and blue self, your fighting spirit, and your ability to even like be cool about anything. Where it's like you don't let that fighting spirit out. That's when you are being purple. That's when you are being purple. If you think about sin, you're sinning. That's what God would say. If you think about sin, you're sinning. Think about joy, love, light, creation, heaven, me, right? Like, that's what God would say. Anyone thinking about sin is sinning. Anyone trying to deem anything as sin is sinning, right? Confirmation verb. That's like, why are you thinking about sin, God says, right? Why would you ever even think about it whatsoever? Even like try to figure out what it is or what it isn't. That's what God would say. If anything, think about anything else. Literally think about anything else, right? Again, love, light, joy, creation, fun, happiness, adventure, hell, ego. Like, we'd rather you be an ego or be like a Stoic or be a theologian than think about sin. Isn't that a crazy paradox? Isn't that like, like the most like usually turned backwards on everyone? Where it's like, there's these things, don't do these things. And God's like, what if I need him to do these things? And someone would be like, was that God? And God would be like, yeah. Like, what, like, what if I needed that to happen? What if I needed, them to realize that it wasn't the right thing to do? That it would make them feel horrible. That it would make them feel like they just sinned, right? But anyone, again, that's thinking that anything is a sin is the only one sinning. And you could talk about 99% of the church when you talk about that. And God is like very pleased with me saying that. Very pleased with me saying that. So, like, I don't even, I think that could do. I'm going to pull one more card for this, just for fun. Like, just to be, a cool person. Because we have many cool cards in here. Yes. Like, God is very pleased with that. God is very pleased with that. The only one sinning is the one thinking about sin. because they're only creating that in this world. They're only like, expecting people to sin, right? But if everyone didn't, even understand sin, right? It's like, the serpent and the apple, right? If there was, how do I say this? You don't see anything as sin. You don't see anything as not heaven, like not in Eden, then you are the one creating heaven. You are the one creating heaven. You are the one creating heaven by doing that. By doing that. By not thinking about sin at all. Why? Because boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And eventually, boom, boom. It just gets reflected right back to you. It gets you feel it. And then you think about it. Right? So if you want to think about anything, love, you feel love, sends it out. Love, 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 and eventually love, love. It's like you feel it so much that you just begin to think about love itself, right? But if you're thinking about sin, 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 I'm sinning, all this fear, right? So let go of that. God says, through me, I declare the Holy Spirit talking through me right now, get rid of fear and you get rid of sin. Again, and the only one thinking about sin is, like, should be, like, the only one thinking about sin, how do I would even say the devil, right? It's like the only one that should be thinking about what sin is the devil. God does not care. God nor judges, right? Christ was given all authority. Christ was given all authority. And again, when, how do I say this? Anyone saying what sin is, right? And then God says, hey, what if I needed them to do that to realize how wrong it is? To realize that they should never do it again. To realize that it is, like, how do I say this? Only diminishing their spirit here, right? And God needed them to realize that. Then it was. Then it was like all part of the plan. All part of the plan. So there's no one that should be like, telling anyone anything, because again, that is besides the point of God's plan, is telling anyone anything about you should do this, you should do that. How do I say this? Christ ate with the tax collectors, ate with the sinners, and what did he do? He healed them by telling them that they're not sinners. That they're not sinners. Guess who, like, basically made the story of having to say that Christ ate with the tax collectors and the sinners? People saying that those are the sinners. Those tax collectors, those are the sinners. Like, how besides the point of finding God is that, right? Like, do you get what I'm saying? It's like, people are the only one that will make people sin. People are the only one that will make people sin, because you could say even guilt and worry and fear and shame is a sin. Because we all live in heaven. When you've accepted Christ, you all live in heaven. And sin is worry, is guilt, is fearing that you don't, that you aren't one with God. And again, God says, Christ says, wake up, Dragonling, I am one with you. I have you. I have you. Even by the face when you need it. Christ says to you right now. So let go of what you think is bad or evil. There is only balance of what you do. Of what you do, not what you believe something to be. It's what you do and what you don't do. That is like the only balance. What you do and what you don't. Some things you do and then realize you should not do that. Some things you don't do and realize one day, I really should have done that. That was awesome. Like, that was so cool. How did I not do this before? Right? Anything. But like, here's the thing. A sinful mind would think about sinful things when I talk about that, right? An unsinful mind, an actual pure heart, would think about good things they haven't tried before. That is the difference. That is the balance. That is the weighing of one's heart. And I really hope I have touched many of those in this conversation. Ornotum dro. Guys, like, we are all, think of this as the firmament, right? We are like under the water kind of thing. Like, I'll be funny. I'll be like, like we shouldn't be trying to be the baddest monkey in the planet, right? We are like kings and queens of this like Atlantean place. Think of like every like country as like this Atlantis. That's like utopia, because it is. It's just people within it that you could say are bad-minded, have sinful minds. And again, God would rather you be entirely evil and not know what sin is than you be someone that like tries to be good all the time and deems everything that people do as sin. He would rather you be evil without understanding that you're evil. That's what he means by that, by the lukewarmness, not just being, you have to be in this kind of works all the time and faith in this. It's like, no, that's what he meant. That's what he meant. And again, there are things you do and there are things you don't do. And it's very easy to like understand which is which. Like which you should and which you shouldn't. And if you don't feel like you do know, if you don't trust your own heart, ask God. Ask God to change it for you. To help you with your wants. Help you with your needs even. And then you'll realize you don't need anything. Except for, yes, like a good shelter. For it to be warm. For you to have water. Right? And food. What else do you want? That's when you could say you would want your heart to be purified by God. He knows what you need. But if you don't trust what you want, then ask him to help you with what you want. And again, he says, wake up, Dragonling, you are one with me, right? So what are you fearing anything for? What if I'm the one who told you to do it? And you might realize it was not the right thing to do. And God is sitting there well, now you know. Not, you should be, are you kidding me? How? How could you do that? No, God would never be like that. If anything, God was the one that told you to do it for you to realize that you don't want to do that anymore. What a crazy paradox, huh? And again, some people are not ready for this. Some people will be theologians, be stoics, be preachers, be priests, be trying to be the Pope about it. Yeah. You know how you feel about this conversation here. You know how you feel about these words here. And if it does disrupt you a little bit, ask God about it, about these words. And you'll hear. Where? Right here. And there are certain parts of whatever that, don't trust your heart. Your heart is evil. Your nature is evil. Your evil nature will never be changed. Parthenax, the boy, the dragon, Parthenax. What does he say? Tell me, Skyrim fans. Is it better to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort? Story is about to begin. The story is about to begin. Find your soul. It's a dragon. You scared of dragons? See you guys.